You know someone like this. Sharp, thoughtful, the kind of person who made every conversation feel like it meant something. And then, quietly, they were just gone. No dramatic exit, no falling out, no explanation, just an increasing silence where a person used to be. Most people assume something happened. A conflict, a crisis, a mood. But what if the disappearance had nothing to do with any of that? What if it was something far more deliberate and far more invisible than anyone around them realized? Psychologists have long observed a pattern in high-intelligence individuals that rarely gets named directly. It's called cognitive withdrawal, and it's rooted in something fundamental about how intelligent minds process social interaction. For the average person, social engagement is energizing. Conversation refreshes, company regulates. But for individuals with high cognitive complexity, people who process experience deeply, who think in layers, who find most surface-level interaction not just unstimulating, but actively draining, social engagement carries a neurological cost that most people never feel. Neuroscientist Elaine Aron's research on high sensory processing sensitivity found that certain nervous systems register and process environmental and social stimuli far more intensely than others. More input, processed more deeply, produces faster depletion. And evolutionary psychologist Satoshi Kanazawa found something striking in his research on intelligence and happiness, that unlike most people, highly intelligent individuals actually reported lower life satisfaction the more time they spent socializing, not because they disliked people, but because their minds, left alone, were doing something that social noise interrupted. The disappearance, for these people, is rarely an abandonment. It is a return. This tendency has always existed, but the modern world has made it more acute and more frequent. We now live in an era of ambient social obligation. Group chats demand constant presence. Social media rewards performance over depth. The expectation of instant availability has turned relationships into a form of low-grade labor. For most people, this is simply the texture of modern life. For highly intelligent, highly sensitive people, it is exhausting in a way that's almost impossible to explain to someone who doesn't experience it. The gap between the depth of connection they crave and the shallowness of what modern social interaction typically offers has never been wider. And so the calculus becomes simple, if unconscious. The noise costs more than the silence. The disappearance isn't antisocial, it's protective. Sign 1. They go quiet, but they're not empty. When an intelligent person withdraws, the assumption is often that something is wrong, that they're depressed, angry, or pulling away from a specific person. But often what's actually happening is that they are full of thought, full of internal work, full of something they are processing that doesn't yet have words. Psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi's research on flow states found that deeply engaging internal work produces a level of absorption that makes social interruption feel almost physically jarring. They're not ignoring you. They're somewhere very far inside themselves. Sign 2. They respond to depth, not frequency. They'll go weeks without a word, and then send a message that takes 10 minutes to read. Surface-level check-ins, small talk, the social maintenance of modern friendship. These feel hollow to them, not because they don't care about the people in their lives, but because they struggle to invest energy in exchanges that feel like going through the motions. What looks like disinterest is often discernment. Sign 3. They become invisible in the wrong rooms. Put them in a conversation about ideas, philosophy, science, systems, meaning, and they become entirely different people. Alive, engaged, impossible to stop. Put them at a gathering where conversation stays at the surface, and they become ghost-like, present in body, absent in every other way. They haven't left the room. They just can't find a reason to fully enter it. Sign 4. They disappear during periods of intense internal growth. Often, the most significant withdrawals happen not when things are falling apart, but when something is being built, a new direction, a shift in understanding, a decision being quietly made. These are periods when the internal world has become so consuming that the external world, even beloved parts of it, gets placed on hold. Not forever, just until the thing inside is finished. Sign 5. Their relationships survive long silences. The friendships that last with these people are built on a specific kind of trust. The understanding that silence is not distance, that absence is not abandonment. When those friendships exist, the person re-emerges and picks up exactly where they left off, as though no time passed, as though the connection was never in question, because for them, it wasn't. There is a cost to this pattern that intelligent people rarely examine honestly. The repeated withdrawal, even when protective, can calcify into isolation that was never intended. Relationships require maintenance that doesn't always feel meaningful, but matters anyway. Friendships that survive one long silence may not survive 5. People who were once close stop reaching, not out of malice, but out of time. Slowly, without choosing it, the world gets smaller. There is also a painful paradox at the center of the highly intelligent mind. The same depth of thinking that makes solitude so productive means that when loneliness eventually arrives, it doesn't arrive shallow. It lands fully. And by then, the chair at the table has long been filled by someone else. The goal is not to become someone who needs less solitude. It is to protect connection with the same intentionality used to protect the inner life. First, distinguish necessary withdrawal from habitual avoidance. Not every disappearance is productive. Ask honestly, am I going inward to build something? Or has withdrawal simply become the path of least resistance? Second, invest deliberately in a small number of high-depth relationships. Research on well-being consistently shows quality matters far more than quantity, but quality requires input. Even 1 or 2 relationships maintained with genuine attention can provide the belonging that prevents isolation from becoming structural. Send the message that's been sitting unsent. Schedule the conversation that keeps getting deferred. Third, communicate your nature. Don't just enact it. The people who matter to you cannot read your internal world. Telling someone, "I go quiet when I'm deep in something, it has nothing to do with you," is a small act that can preserve a relationship that silence alone would erode. Transparency, for people who tend toward withdrawal, is not weakness. It is an act of care. The most intelligent people you've known haven't disappeared because they stopped caring. They disappeared because the world they could build inside their own mind was, for a while, more real to them than the one outside it. That is not a flaw, but it can become a wall. And walls, unlike doors, don't let anything in or out. So here is the question worth carrying. Is your solitude building something, or has it quietly become the whole of your life? The mind that disappears to create something extraordinary is remarkable, but a mind that never returns never gets to share what it made. If this felt like it was written about someone you know, or someone you are, our video on why deep thinkers struggle most with being understood goes even further. It's right here. Subscribe if you want to keep thinking like this. We're here every week,